Things could be getting really interesting for Bray Wyatt coming up here in the near future. The first transition to The Fiend was a great decision for Bray Wyatt's character. The Fiend completely had everyone's attention the second that he showed up. Younger fans, older fans, just everyone seemed to be intrigued by the new Fiend character that Bray Wyatt had introduced. It was such a quick rise in popularity for The Fiend that by his second match, he was already competing for a WWE World title. Now, we all know how that reign ended, and WWE didn't have a lot of fans so pleased with the anticlimactic end to The Fiend's streak. But the feud with John Cena was giving Bray Wyatt another chance, and it'll be a great match to redeem himself in. One thing that John Cena vs. Bray Wyatt definitely has is a lot of backstory, and WWE even touched on it. These two, Bray Wyatt and John Cena, had such a long back and forth feud in 2014 that was quite devastating for Bray Wyatt's career. Sure, Bray picked up a few wins over Cena via multiple distractions, but he never really pinned Cena cleanly, and John Cena just picked up all the major wins over Bray back then. And from at least Bray's point of view, his business with John Cena was never quite done because he could never pick up that huge win over Cena. So that has always been lingering in Bray's head ever since their first encounter. As Bray Wyatt even said himself, he blames John Cena for his downfall and for the creation of The Fiend. Bray himself doesn't seem angry with Cena and is actually happy he lost because that's what led him to finally listen and give in to those inner voices. The match with John Cena is also a great continuation of The Fiend's theme of getting back at everyone who wronged Bray Wyatt in the past. So it sets up the perfect matchup, story-wise, for John Cena vs. Bray Wyatt, and it's an absolute must-win match for The Fiend. There's also some rumors and buzz going around that this may be John Cena's last match, even though that's not confirmed. You can tell Cena is starting to hint at retirement, especially during his Smackdown promo before The Fiend had appeared. So if Bray Wyatt is able to defeat Cena and put him right into retirement, that'll really establish more credibility to The Fiend and his huge loss to Goldberg. Now, we all know WrestleMania will have no fans in attendance for the first time ever. That's terrible, but there are some good things that could come from that, especially with the fact that it's pre-recorded. That allows WWE to put in some post-production edits and throw in little things into the matches. Rumor has it that Bray Wyatt vs. John Cena will have a very cinematic feel to it as well. It was also reported that with the match being pre-recorded, Bray Wyatt had pitched the idea for all his characters to make a cameo during the match as well. But he also has some other characters that would make sense appearing in this match as well. One of the Bray Wyatt characters is Sister Abigail. Whether it be the 2018 version of Sister Abigail, played by Bray Wyatt himself, or an actual woman playing as a character, it would make for quite the bizarre moment. Another possible appearance that would actually be perfect would be the appearance from the old school Eater of Worlds version of Bray Wyatt. This was the version of Bray Wyatt Cena faced back in 2014. So if he was to make a quick cameo, just spectating the match from a distance or saying a few lines to a beaten John Cena, it would be quite the wrap-up for the story and would bring the story full circle. After 6 long years of waiting, the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, finally gets to look at his creation of The Fiend defeating John Cena. You can only imagine the look on John Cena's face as he's encountering all of Bray Wyatt's characters. He's really going to believe he's hallucinating, and it really would make for quite the big moment. And maybe this is what all the other superstars go through when they face The Fiend. So it'll also be an inside look at what they go through after their matches with Bray. Going forward, it'll be interesting to see if WWE uses Bray Wyatt's idea of switching in between characters in future matches. So far, we've seen Bray Wyatt compete as himself and The Fiend compete as himself. But imagine him switching in between the two personas in a single match. That'll definitely be interesting to see. Fans have also talked about Bray Wyatt versus The Fiend being a possible match that we could see down the line, with someone else obviously playing The Fiend. Bray Wyatt also tells us The Fiend is a completely different person, but obviously no one believes him. So if WWE does make that reveal of them both being in the ring at the same time, it'll mess with a lot of people's heads. When it comes to the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, he shouldn't really make any more appearances in the future. The old school Bray Wyatt really only makes sense appearing in the John Cena match because he never really got his revenge on Cena. So just having him there watching over or even taking part in the beatdown will perfectly wrap everything up. So even with no title on the line, Bray Wyatt still has one of the most interesting matches on the WrestleMania 36 card. And as far as John Cena goes, that'll be interesting to see what happens with him next as well. Even if he was considering this to be his final match, he just has to reconsider and do at least one more match because he can't have his last run and last match be in front of no audience. John Cena was scheduled to make several live Smackdown appearances leading up to WrestleMania. Maybe that was going to be his farewell tour, but with no crowd being present for this run, you already know Cena can't just walk away like that. If Cena's going to go out, it has to be done in an actual packed WrestleMania stadium. So I don't think this will be Cena's last match for the WWE at all. So we'll have to see what's next in what seems to be John Cena's final years as an active WWE superstar. What are your thoughts on Bray Wyatt versus John Cena and Bray's idea to use his multiple characters throughout the match? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new videos, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.